Hello, welcome to my channel. It's your data buddy Kingsley, and today we will be talking about data transformation in Looker Studio. Of course, we know that when it gets to analysis and making informed business decision, you need to transform your data. You need to ensure that your data is consistent, is standardized, is clean, and it's also complete. Let's hop into my computer so I will show you step by step on how to transform your data in Looker Studio. Today we'll be looking at data transformation in Looker Studio. And when we talk about data transformation, look at it as the fact that when you bring your data, before you start analysis, you need to prepare it for any form of analysis. And this is heavily dependent on the business rules, the problem you want to solve at any point in time. When a request is made from the business unit management level, say executive, you need to look at the data need of that particular request. After looking at the data need of that request, you go in, extract the data. When you extract the data, you start cleaning the data. At You go ahead and start cleaning and preparing data. This process of cleaning and preparing the data for this analysis, it's called data transformation. When you visit Looker Studio, this is the interface you see. Most importantly, when you are a user. So when you look up here, you will notice that I am a user. I am already logged in. And I also have some history. And these are some of the things I have done in the past. To be able to transform your data, you need to go to the data source editor. We extensively talked on data source editor in our last video. The video will be in the description below. So let's move on. To do this, you need to go to your data source editor as I earlier stated. To do that, you go to data sources, and these are my data sources, and I only have one that I connected through here. And all I need to do is to click on it, and I am here. So this is the data source editor as we already know, and I have already explained all this functionalities up here. Today, let's dive in. Today, let's go straight on how we can transform our data. Having had this data, this is my supply chain data, as you could see it rightly named up there. These are the fields I have, some dimension and one matrix. And when you look at it, there is no calculated field here. We don't have any calculated field, and we are going to create that today. To know the number of fields in your data set, you come down here, you will see the number of fields, and this includes your calculated fields. So the field that came with your data and the ones you also created when you are doing your transformation, everything will be here. When you go to the left, you will see refresh. This is where you manually refresh your data when there is any change in the data sources. So let's start. Before you can transform your data, it's important you ensure that your data is in the right format, in the right data type. All your fields are in the right data type. And let's go through all the fields and see if they are truly in the right data type. And here we have category, it's in text. I accept this is okay. City, it's in geography data format, and this is okay. And understand, I am not doing any aggregation on them. I could actually do an aggregation on any of them that I want if I want, but all I need. Okay, so notice I'm not doing any aggregation on the text data and the geography data. Country is country. Assuming this is not showing the right one, the right data type, I could come in here and go to geo. And when I come to geo, click on it, you will see continent, subcontinent, all the data type, that the correct geographic data type for this particular field. But Country is the correct one, so I will stick with the country. Same here with discount. Discount is number, and number is fine for this. And it's okay to have an aggregation on it. And the default aggregation is sum. I can have the different types of aggregation if I want. So I am happy with this. This next is date. Date is in the right data form, data type. Order order ID. So when you look at this order ID, it's in text, and I'm happy that it's in text data format. You notice that some data, some IDs are usually numbers, and when because they are numbers, Looker Studio will see them as number. It is up to you to change them as text. It is up to you to change them into text since you are not performing any arithmetic operation on them. So it's important you know this. All right, so let's move on. So we have product ID, it's in the right data format, name, postcode. So the postcode, its number. Is it right to be a number? Let's see. This is postcode and we expect it to be in a geographic data format. So let's come in here, Joe, and see postcode. So I'll change it to postcode. You are changing postcode from number to postcode. If you're sure you want to make these changes, click continue. Yes, I want to make these changes. So I will continue. And it has changed it. Check it out. It has changed it to geographic data format, and that is what I want. We have profit, which is number, fine, and you can also see the aggregation and region. So region is showing me test, but I'm not sure I'm happy with test. So I will go in here, change it to all right, so I'm going to change it to subcontinent. And this depends on your data type. And this depends on what is on your region. Your region could be at the sub level of a country, it could be at the sub level of a continent. It is up to you to know what is there and use the right information. All right, so the next is we have sales. Sales is a number, it's in currency, and I am happy with that. And that brings us back. So we notice that sales is in currency. I think it would be better we go and change profits to currency instead of just number. So we come in here and number, currency here, and I am okay with the British pound since that's the default currency I am using. Do we have any other? We have discounts. Think we are okay with the discounts. So we leave it at we leave it at number level. And what else do we have? Shipping date is fine. Segment is test and state. All right. So this is state and we know how we do it. We go and change it to Joe. And here we have country. So where do we attribute state as? Not really city, country subdivision first level. Okay, so we will use country subdivision first level, which is usually the same thing as state. All right, so we are good with this. And here we go. We are done with changing this data type to what we want. And this is, I'm happy with this. Okay, so let's go into adding additional fields into our data type. To add additional field in terms of performing any calculation, the beauty of the beauty of Lucas Studio is that if you know SQL, you do not need to learn any other programming language to pick up Lucas Studio. This is because Lucas Studio is powered by SQL. So it 100% accepts SQL. And that's what we are going to start using. If imagine I want to perform a count on the number of category, I could come here and perform this count easily. Count, or I could count distance depending on what I want. I can also come up here, add field, add calculated field, and that's category. The two ways I could do that is I could come here The function is count, and I want to use count distance. That's what I want to use because I want to count the distant value there. Now, immediately I picked up the function, we have this simple documentation explaining to us what it does. And it says distant count returns the number of unique value of X, unique value of any field you give to it. And so let's move in and add a field to it. To add a field to this, a field is just any of this by the side. And when you see, as soon as I hover on as soon as I hover on any of this field, you notice the plus icon on it. So if I click while my cursor is on is while my cursor is in the discount function, the place where I need to take in where it needs to take in the arguments, I can click on category and it will pick it up. Or I could start typing category and the field will pop up and then I will select it. So either way, either you start typing it out or you pick it up from here, whatever you want. Another way you can do is in case there's so much field, you could also search them up here. And that's how easy it is to use this. And the next thing I need to do, as soon as I'm done typing this, it's telling me that my syntax is correct. So all I need to do is to give it a name. I will call it count of category. You, ca- you, you could name it anything you want. This is Lucas Studio's way of uniquely identifying any field. So now I have my name, the name of the field, the function that powers the field. This is the column this is the field from which the field is being calculated. All I need to say is to save this. And now I have a new field as count of category. So to find this out, let's go back to our fields. I'll click here and let's look for it. Count of category. And it is a matrix. So count of category. It is under matrix because this is an aggregation. And this fx you see here shows that it is a calculated field. And if you click on it, it brings us back to the to the inter it, it brings us back to the formula interface where we can edit can where we can edit or update the function. So let's move back. All right, so I am happy with what I have calculated. The next thing is I would like to calculate like the profit margin. And profit margin is a very important measure that helps you understand the percentage of profit you have from every particular transaction or group of transactions. So to do that, again, I'll just come up here, add calculated field. And profit margin, I will give it a name, profit margin. So I'll come here, profit margin is simply profits. And as I type it, profit comes up divided by sales. And I'm happy with this. I will save it and it is saved. If I go up here, if I go back one step, you will see I have profit margin here and it is a calculated field again. And this is how simple it is to use calculated field. And all this is powered by SQL. Now let's try some of the notable functions in SQL. Let's go in and add. I want to have my customer names all in caps. So I'll call it customers. And then I'll say I want them in up. So I'm going to use the upper function, which capitalizes everything that I want. And so it needs a field. This upper function needs a field or an expression. And all I'm giving it is a field, and that's how simple it is. If I want an expression, I'll perform any expression inside it. So since I want a field, I will just quickly go here. It's customer name I want. Quickly pick it up and customers, and that's it. Save it. If you know your SQL, this comes in so handy and it's so easy to use. It is very easy to use. And there are loads of other functions you can perform. All you can find them here. You can find all these other functions here on this Looker Studio Hub. So when you come in here, you find out that we have the function list, and I'm going to leave it in the description. I'm going to leave it in this description section. On this, you will see several functions, and these things are categorized by their group. You can see text, miscellaneous, geo, date, conditional, arithmetic, aggregation, and all that. If I go to conditional, I can see conditional is heavily dependent on case statements. You can see it's so easy to understand. And we also have the if, null if, coalesce, if null, and the case statement. If I move on again to say I want the aggregation, and of course you know the aggregation, the aggregate function, average, count, max, median, mean, and they're all simple. Just depending on what you want. Test, we come down here, we can say concat, contains test and other things, and it also explains to you how to use it. In case you have issues on how to use, let's go to concat. I'll come in here and I'll click on this learn more. It opens a new tab, and I'll go to the new tab. It shows me how I can easily use the concat. Imagine I want to let's let's go in and try to do it. All we need to do is pick up pick up two fields. All we need to do is to pick up two fields that we want to concat. And when you look at this point, there is a space here and separated by a comma to separate something from the other. And there are loads of things you can do with this concat. Now let's go and perform something here. Now on this concat, I want to append, that may not really make much sense, but I want to append the customer's name to their country. All I need to do is add a calculated field. I'll call it customer region or customer country. And the f- and this and the function is concat. What is the first? I want to pick up the customer name. The customer name, separate with a comma. You can easily see the syntax there. Separate with a comma. I want to also separate. I want to also separate the what I have. I want to. I want to also separate the customer name from their region, just with a space. That's all I need. So I will just bring in a quotation and create a space there. That's all I just need. And then the next field will come, which is the customer country. And this how I could do it. If I wanted something else, if I wanted a slash to separate it, I could do that. If I wanted to use a pipe to separate it, I could also use that. It just depends on whatever I want. If I want a dash, anything I want, I could use it. Any delimiter I want, I could use it. What I want here is space. And I am happy. The syntax is telling me, Lucas Studio is telling me that the calculation is correct. So there is no error, and I will save it. Now let's go and try some of these things we have done. So assuming I am done with my work, all I need to do is to come in here, create reports, and a new window will be open for me to start creating reports from scratch. Okay, so I'm sure you're familiar with this window. We have explained it. You can check the video in the description. So let me use this table. it has given to me. This is just like the order ID, count of order. Let me pick up some of the things we have calculated. This is profit margin. Let me pick it up. Profit margin. This is a calculation, so I'll have it on my metrics. So you can see the profit margin by the order. And some are in negative, some are in positive. Okay, so let me expand this. So let me pick up another information. We created customer, something about customer. That's like customer country, which we use concatenation. And because it is a text, I will have it in dimension because that's where it will make sense. There is no aggregation performed on it. So let me expand it here so you can see the space. That's the customer's name. In fact, I'm going to bring a customer's name, the one I use, the one we, so let me bring you the customer's name, the one we performed with uppercase. All right, so my spelling is not correct. I will pick it up here and put it in my dimension. And let's keep it, let's put it above here so that it will be properly aligned. So let's see this. Now you can see what I have done. All my customer here, it's all capitalized. And you can see the difference between customer and customer country. I have my customer country showing both the customer and the country they belong. And guys, that's how simple it is to perform. That's how simple it is to transform your data in Looker Studio. I want to explain a concept here. Data transformation in Looker Studio, I will effectively categorize it in two forms. We have the simple calculations that you just need to perform, like the ones we have done here. And we also have the complex one that you need a combination of functions and regular expression to perform. Over time, we are going to go into some complex and we're going to go into some complex data transformation in Looker Studio. But this is a good place to start. With this, you are going to try your hands on several things. So that is it about data transformation in Looker Studio. That was comprehensive, isn't it? That is it about data transformation in Looker Studio. And guys, if you're getting values in these videos, I encourage you to subscribe if you have not yet subscribed, and give this video a thumbs up. Share it so that others who are interested in data analytics will gain from it. Please don't leave it to yourself. Share it if you're getting value. Give it a thumbs up. And to my returning subscribers, I want to say thank you. I so much appreciate it. You are the reason why we are here.